All right, you guys, so I realize that this video is now gonna be published in March, but I still think it's helpful to see what sold for me for $40 or more in January. So let's get right into this what sold. Hey guys, it's me, Kay, and you've arrived in my weird little corner of the internet. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm a part-time reseller, mostly on eBay and Poshmark, though I do also sell locally at an antique mall and on Mercari and Depop, but I hardly ever make sales there. And I do all this so that me and my daughter can travel the world whenever our time allows. And in this video, we are talking about January sales. As I said in the intro, I do realize that this is coming out now in March. February is a short month. It's my daughter's birthday month and there's just a lot going on. So sometimes things fall to the wayside, YouTube being one of them. So I do apologize for that. But let's get right into this what sold. So we're gonna talk about sales $40 and over. I think it's really helpful to see what type of brands and items are selling at that price point. I had 34 total that sold in that range, 23 on Poshmark and 11 on eBay. So far in 2023, which is really weird and kind of freaking me out a little bit, but Poshmark has been king over eBay. That hasn't been the case in like 3 years. So it's a little concerning, but I will gladly take it. So we'll talk about Poshmark first. Again, 23 sales, $40 and over. You guys will see pictures as I talk about the items. In most cases, I know what I listed it for, whether it was an offer to liker, an offer from a buyer, and I will share with you how much I paid. So let's get right into it. They're in no order, but I think that it's just, you know, based on the calendar. So again, January sales. The first piece was a vintage 1990s Bruins sweatshirt. So if you didn't know, I am from the New England area, born and raised. Go Patriots, Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox. I don't really watch much sports ball anymore, but that doesn't matter. I really love this piece, and if it was a little bit in better shape, I probably would have considered keeping it for myself because I just thought it was really cool looking. And I listed this, I think, at $60. And I paid $5.99 for it, so it was pretty cheap, and I got an offer from a buyer of $50. Really happy with that. I love picking up sports pieces, and especially so the vintage ones. Next is a piece you're gonna hear a lot about from the brand anyways, not this specific item, but January is really heavy on the activewear sales for me, New Year's resolutioners, and activewear is just an area that I love to source. I have no problem finding good activewear pieces in my area. It's one of the first sections I look at in any thrift store. Shoes and activewear, those are my favorite sections. So there's quite a bit of activewear on these lists. This is the first one. This is from Lululemon. This is the Everlux and Mesh Tight. I listed these at $60. And my Flipbot sent an automatic 10% off offer to likers, and someone accepted, so they sold for $54, and I paid $10.84. Next is a pair of Spanx legging. This brand has honestly kind of fallen off for me. Let me know in the comments if it's the same for you. I still love sourcing it and love picking it up because, you know, people like shapewear, and, you know, Spanx is a decent brand. It's a good quality brand, so I still like picking them up, but they just don't move as well as they used to for me. I listed these at $48, got an offer of $40. Happy to accept that. I paid $9.44. These were the Spanx jeanish ankle legging. I like to pick up the jeanish leggings more so than just the regular leggings. I don't know if that's the same for everyone, but that's just what sells better for me from Spanx. Next is a pair of Nike sneakers. These are the Air Huarache in white gum. So they were all white and that had gum bottom soles. This was a full price sale. I don't make too many full price sales, especially on Poshmark, because the Flipbot is sending the auto offers, and I think I have it set to like 5 minutes. So as long as it's not glitchy, which it often is, but if it's not glitchy, it's sending out offers within 5 minutes. So I make a lot of my sales that way. So I always love when I get a full price sale. So yeah, $60 for these, and I paid $12.49. Next was a pair of Judy Blue jeans. I love selling this brand, though it does better for me in the bigger sizes. These were a 16W. They were new with tags, mid-rised, relaxed fit. And I listed these at $55, I'm sorry. And this was an auto 10% off at $49, which someone accepted. And I paid $9.19. I have a really high sell-through rate with Judy Blue. I learned that brand from watching Amber resells. And yeah, since I've been picking it up, it almost always sells pretty quickly. Next is a pair of rock climbing shoes. I will always pick these up unless they're like ridiculously priced, and I always get around 38 and above, no matter what brand it is, no matter what condition it is. Rock climbing gear is really expensive. So are memberships to the climbing gyms, if you didn't know. And someone, when I went to the bins, the one and only time I went in 2022, towards the end of the year, someone put back two different brands of climbing shoes, and I grabbed both of them. The first pair sold really quickly, and this pair also sold really quickly for $48. I did list them at $60, so you know, they wanted a little bit of a discount. Totally fine with that. I paid $1.23 at the bins, so $1.23 into 48, I will take that all day long. And the brand was Scarpa, if I didn't say that already. Next is a pair of Frye boots. There's another pair of Frye boots, I believe, on the eBay side that we're gonna talk about in January. This is the first pair. I found them both at the same store. They were both men's styles. One was priced a little bit higher. I think it's the other pair, but this pair sold for more. This is a Frye distressed harness boot. The harness boots are really popular. I listed them at $120. Someone sent me an offer of $90, and I paid $9.49. Next is another activewear piece. This is from Zaya. Yes, it is an MLM, which I typically don't support, but their pieces are sought after because you have to get them from a dealer, and sometimes they're limited edition, which these were. So I priced them a little bit higher than I would normally price my Zaya pieces at, and they sold for $46. This is the rare occasion where I don't know what I listed it at. I just know that it sold for $46. These were the black ribbon leggings, and I paid $6.64 for them. Next is a brand called Monroe. This is only the second time I've ever found this brand, and this specific piece was sold on Revolve, so I did put that in the title. Revolve in a listing seems to sell better in my experience. These were the snap tearaway pants. Shout out to the 90s when these were really popular from brands like Adidas. I just thought they were really cool. The thrift store had no idea what these were, so I paid only $3.19 for them. I think they were $3.99 and I used 20% off. They took 3 months to sell. I listed them at $46 and offered two Lakers 10% off. They sold for $41. Next is a piece that took 15 months to sell. I actually sourced this when I went to San Francisco in September of 2020, I think that was 2021. So yeah, 15 months. I had never seen or heard of this brand before, but I looked up comps in the store that I happened to be at, and they looked pretty decent. So I did pay $9.99 for this. The brand is Feig. I think I'm saying that correctly. Sorry if I'm not. It was a new with tags Gianna Lotus dress. I listed it at $175. That's what the comps were kind of hovering around at the time that I listed it. And honestly, I just really don't have much time to go back into my listings most often and, you know, like review prices and make changes. So they've just been sitting at $175 since September of 2021. But I got a super reasonable, as far as I'm concerned, offer of $157. So about $10 into $157, I 15 times my money. Next is another Lululemon piece. These are the Ready to Rulu joggers. These sold fairly quickly within like 2 months or so. I listed them at $55, auto 10% offer. They sold for $49 and I paid $8.24. Next is a pair of Hey Dudes. These are the first ones I ever picked up. They were the Wally linen. They took 3 months to sell. They are, I think, the first ones to sell also, and I just have one pair left because I've found 3 altogether. I sold this pair. I sold a pair that I got from the bins at the end of 2022, the black pair, and those sold quickly. So this was a full price sale within 3 months for $40. I paid $5.30. So that was a nice experiment because I had never had any experience with that brand before, and I was happy to see that they sold full price. Another Lululemon item, again, you guys are gonna be seeing a lot of activewear. Scuba hoodie in sapphire blue. This sold in hours, which either means I priced it too low, I priced it at $60, or someone was really looking for that specific one. There are tons and tons and tons of different colors of the scuba hoodie. I always pick those up. I always pick up the Define jacket, which you guys will hear a little bit about in a couple in a couple of items. But this one sold on an offer for $48 within hours, and I paid $9.99. I will pay probably up to $20 for a scuba hoodie, same with the Define jacket, just because I've sold quite a few of them and they always sell $45 and up. Next was a piece I took a chance on because I had heard of it before but never seen it in a thrift store, never seen anyone sell it or heard anyone in the reseller YouTube space talk about it. This was from Spirit Hoods. I knew about it because of watching MTV's reality show, The Challenge, and one of the competitors always used to wear stuff from this brand, and so when I saw it in the store, I decided to try it out. It was new with tags. It was called the Gray Fox Poncho. I did pay $18.99 for this, so that was a little risky for something I had never dealt with before. I did list it at $100, and I took an offer of $75, so 25% off. Next we have the Lululemon Define jacket I was just mentioning when I talked about the scuba hoodie. This was in navy, so a similar color to the scuba hoodie that was a sapphire blue. It sold in 2 days for $51. I listed it at $60, so that was a really reasonable offer in my opinion, and I paid $14.99 for that jacket. Again, I'd probably pay around up to $20 for either of those types of items from Lululemon. Next we have a pair of jeans from Madewell. I still love sourcing Madewell jeans. I know that skinny is supposedly on its way out, but there are those of us, myself included, that are forever a skinny jeans fan, and I do sell a lot of Madewell skinnies. They just normally don't hit this review, I guess, because they usually sell like $35 and versus more than $40. So you guys don't hear me talk about them much, but I am still selling them, so I do still pick them up. These, however, were the curvy perfect vintage straight. Anything other than skinny I've been getting decent money for. Just throwing that out there. These I listed at $60. I got an offer for $50. Happy to accept that. I paid $8.62. Next we have an Outdoor Voices piece. This is another brand that's kind of fallen out for me anyway, so I'm very picky with grabbing it at thrift stores. The tops do a little bit better. The leggings don't move for me at all, so I need to just not pick them up unless maybe it's at the bins. I have a thread-up hoodie that's new with tags. That's a men's piece that I got in one of the 2 men's boxes that I ever got from thread-up, and that's been sitting for forever, so I don't know. But this one sold for full price, $48. This was the Cloud Knit All Day hoodie. It was like a lightweight hoodie, and I paid $8.65. Would I pick it up again? $8 into $48. I mean, that's not bad, but the brand just doesn't do the best for me, so I'd probably have to heavily consider that in the thrift store before I actually pick it up. Next is a J. Crew Harwick messenger bag. So if you watched my last Friday thrift finds video from last week, just a few days ago, and when I'm filming this, I found another one of these. The one I found in that video was a briefcase style. This one was a messenger bag. I had never heard of this J. Crew Harwick collection before. I did pay $14.99 because the comps looked pretty good, and this was a full price sale for $66. So yeah, I'm happy with 15 into 66, and obviously I would pick that item up again because I just picked up a similar one, and we'll see how that does. Maybe you guys will hear about it in a future video from, you know, like March. Next we have a pair of shoes from Dansko. Dansko, I used to pick up all the time, you know, like the nursing style clogs, which are very saturated both in the thrift stores and online for resale, so I don't pick up those anymore regardless of condition or print, or if I'm at the bins. I will only pick up Dansko styles that are not the nursing style clog. So these were called the Linda. They're a Mary Jane style heel, green leather. I thought they were really cool. They sold at an automatic 10% off offer from my Flipbot for $49, and I paid $7.99, and they sold really quickly within like a week or so. Next is a pair of mother jeans. I love selling this brand. I went several years without finding it, and then I've found 3 in the last like 2 to 3 months, and I only have 1 that hasn't sold. These are the Weekender Frey Flare. They sold in 35 minutes. Another auto 10% off offer for $54, and I paid $7.59. I believe they were also a size 32 or 34, which I think helped to sell them. Next is a Barefoot Dreams cardigan. This is the Cozy Chic Light Resort Cardi. I listed this at $65 because it had been a few years since I last found this brand, so I had no idea how it was gonna do. Yes, I look up comps on things, but when I'm listing, I kind of just go with my gut and list at a certain price. And if it sells quickly and I price it too low, it's whatever. And if, you know, it sits for a little bit and then I take a reasonable offer, reasonable in my experience, my opinion is like 30% off or less. So yeah, I took $42 on this item. I listed at $65 and I paid $3.14 because again, the thrift store had no idea what Barefoot Dreams was. But yeah, this brand is kind of hit or miss. I don't know how it's doing for everyone else right now. So if you have been selling Barefoot Dreams, let me know how it's doing compared to, you know, years prior for you. Because when I used to find it in the past, it used to move really quickly for, you know, $55 to $75. I think I also sold a cardigan for close to $100. That one was new with tags, but that was my first time ever picking up that brand. So it seems to have fell off a little bit, but that's the name of the game. The next is a pair of Madewell jeans. Again, these are the Emmett wide leg crop. Like I said earlier, everything other than the skinny is doing really well for me, even though the skinnies are still selling. These sold in 3 months for $47. I had listed them at $55. This was an offer from a buyer and I paid $5.20. And the last item for Poshmark was another pair of jeans from Everlane. I love picking up Everlane. It is a sustainable company, but everything other than their jeans, for me anyway, just aren't doing that great. So I'm pretty much sticking to just the jeans for right now for Everlane. These were a pair of black high-rise straights. These were a full price sale for $46. They sold in a couple hours and I paid $8.99. So that's the 23 items that sold for $40 or more on Poshmark for January. It was $1,300 in gross sales for those 23 items, and I paid $201.17 for all 23. So I turned about $200 into $1,300. My totals for the Poshmark platform, $2,196 in total gross sales. I sold 56 items on Poshmark specifically for an ASP or average sale price of $39.21. My total cost of goods for all 56 of those items was $376.78, making my average cost of goods $6.73. If you're new here, I like to stay at $5 and under, so $6.73 is a little high. Okay, so if my face is a little bit red and I look like I have tears in my eyes, it's because I apparently talked too much during the Poshmark segment of this video that I started coughing. So let's move on into eBay and then close out this video. So I had 11 sales, $40 and over on eBay. And something new that I am doing for 2023 is that I am recording my numbers a little bit differently. So in prior videos, if you have been around for a little while, included the shipping cost the buyers paid on eBay, that is no longer the case. So the items and the prices I'm sharing with you do not include what the buyers pay for shipping. I do not offer free shipping on anything at all in my eBay store. It's all calculated shipping paid by the buyer. So just keep that in mind when I'm going over the items. And here we go. The first is a ThredUp item. I am keeping track this year also of how much profit I am making from ThredUp items, since I do order so many mystery boxes from ThredUp. So that's something that I will share ongoing, probably around the end of the year when I do my review. But this was a pair of Sorel boots. These were the Black Joan of Arctic boot. They did take 8 months to sell, but I got them in like the beginning of summer. So, you know, that was not the time to be selling really heavy, bulky winter boots. I listed them at $125 and I got an offer of $95. Happy to accept that. I paid $3.74. Again, these were in a ThredUp box. That was one of the discounted ones that I got. It was not because I use ambassador credits, which I do use quite often now, that I am part of that program, but they were just having a sale on their box. So I think they were $50, and so $3.74 for those boots into $95. Next is a Lululemon item. This was a personal item. I had purchased this backpack from the Lululemon outlet that's near me years ago, and I have used it exclusively for traveling. It's always the personal item that I bring, carry on to a plane, and then I carry on my little suitcase. But it's been a lot of places, a lot of countries with me, and I don't remember what I paid for it, to be honest. I just record my cost as 0 since, you know, it's a few years old at this point. This was the Cruiser 22-liter backpack. It was originally a men's bag, but I mean, that doesn't really matter when it comes to a backpack, so whatever. I listed it at $65 and it sold on an offer for $50, and it sold in 2 days. Next is a pair of Polo Ralph Lauren Polo Bear slippers. If you find anything with the Polo Bear on it, like especially so with sweaters, and they have the Polo Bear, I would really recommend picking it up. Those usually do really well for Polo Ralph Lauren. These took 11 months to sell, but I also priced them at $75 because I had never sold anything from Polo with the Polo Bear on it before. So, you know, I kind of shot my shot, and it took almost a year to sell, but they sold for $50 and I paid $7.99. Next is another ThredUp shoe. These you probably have seen because it was a pretty recent shoe box, the most recent one that I got. If you know, are not new to my channel, I paid 19 cents for these boots because I used, like I said a little bit ago, ambassador credits. They sold in hours. These were Fiorentini and Baker. That was the brand. I had never heard of this brand before. And I'm really excited about this sale because they were brown ankle booties and I turned 19 cents into $117. So yeah, if I could have more of those in my future ThredUp shoe boxes, because I'm sure I'll order some more once I sell all of the shoes that I have, or at least a good chunk of them. Yeah, that would be really awesome. Next, we have another pair of shoes, though these I sourced at a traditional thrift store for $8.41. These were from Fly London, Black Suede Roby Mary Jane Wedge. Fly London is a little bit hit or miss. I have a couple pairs of them, and they're sitting, but these sold for $45 and I heard originally listed them at $60. Next is another piece that was sold on Revolve. Like I mentioned in the Poshmark segment, Revolve really does help sell items in my experience. This brand though was Tularosa. I have found this a few times before. I don't find it too often. It was called the Brogan mini dress. I totally picked it up thinking it was a top 100%. But yeah, no, it was a mini dress. It was new with tags. I paid $4.89 because apparently the thrift store thought it was also a top, and so they didn't price it accordingly. And I listed it at $70 and it sold for $50. Next was a Levi's item, though it wasn't a pair of jeans. It was a trucker jacket. So this was a black vegan leather or faux leather Sherpa lined trucker jacket. It sold in 3 months, full price for $44.99, $45. I paid $9.99. This is the first time I had a sale that went international through eBay's new shipping program, because they did away with the GSP, the global shipping program, and now it's like an eBay international standard or something like that. So it went to the UK, and I know, I think it was spending under 30. I will put their thing on the screen and also link the video if I can find it in the description down below, and if not, I'll just link their channel so you can scroll through there. But there is some kind of Vero issue with the UK and Levi's specifically, though I think if I remember correctly, it has to do with like newer style jeans. So your mileage may vary, but just be aware that that is potentially an issue, that you could get a Vero for a pair of Levi's or other Levi's items. I don't know if it's specific to the jeans, but you could possibly get a Vero for listing and having the option available to ship to the UK. So just keep that in mind. Next is the other pair of Frag boots that I mentioned earlier. These were the Paul inside zip boot. They were black. They took 3 weeks to sell. I did pay a little bit more for these. I paid $9.49 and I listed them at $80. They sold for $67. Next is a pair of Free People pants, jeans. I hardly ever pick up Free People anything anymore, but sometimes if the style is nice, I will pick up their denim because I really like their denim. These were from We the Free. They were called the Isabel, I can never speak. Isabel pleat waist wide leg jeans. They took 3 months to sell. I listed them at $75 and I took an offer of $54. I paid $5.20. Not quite sure why the thrift store marked them so low, but I am happy to take those for $5.20. Next is an Athleta piece. This is the only Athleta piece that made it onto this list, though Athleta was my best performing brand for all of 2022 overall between Poshmark and eBay. This was a black Cozy Soft Pranayama wrap. This was a full price sale for $46, $45.99. I do that psychological thing on eBay where I do the 99 cents because you can, and it seems to work sometimes. And this took 6 weeks to sell. I paid $9.99. And last but not least, the last item we're going to talk about for eBay and overall for this video was a pair of Hoka's. These were Hoka One One Black Bondi 7 Wide. They were missing insoles. These were a pretty recent pickup. They just took a month to sell. And I have a lot of success picking up sneakers with no insoles from brands like Hoka, Nike. I've sold Keens without insoles. I've sold Merrells without insoles, especially so with running sneakers like On Running or On Clouds. People who run a lot, they will get their own insoles. They get more comfortable insoles that fit, you know, the shape of their foot, etc. So I wouldn't say stay away from shoes without insoles. I still pick them up, especially if the price is right. These were only $7.99. So I wouldn't pay a lot for a shoe without insoles, but you could still sell them without insoles. So don't shy away from a good brand running sneaker just because they are missing those insoles. I listed these at $55 and I sent an offer to a watcher for $50 and someone accepted that. So for the eBay platform, for these 11 items, I spent $67.88 on them and turned it into $669 in gross sales. So I almost 10 times my money. Again, this does not include what the buyers might have paid for shipping. 11 items. Total sales across the whole platform was $1,573.84. Again, just the sales. I sold 60 items on eBay, so that's what, 4 more than the Poshmark platform. And my ASP, average sales price, was $26.23. So quite a bit lower than Poshmark, where my average was $39.21. My total cost of goods for all of those 60 items I sold on eBay was $267.15, making my average cost of goods $4.45. So I was under my $5 wheelhouse that I like to be at on eBay. So let's go over some totals and then we'll be done with this video. So in previous ones, I have compared month to month, but since we are now in a new year, this is January 2023, I'm not comparing it to the end of 2022. But next month when I do the February video, which you probably will see pretty close to when this video goes out, because we are now in March, I will compare February to January, but for this video, we're just talking about January and as a whole. This is going to be numbers for Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Depop. I do not include my booth numbers in here, and that's not because most of the time I barely make rent or don't make rent and I'm in the negative, but it's just online sales as a whole, and where my booth is, you know, it's a physical location where I store things. I just record things differently, but I will have some more videos coming out about my booth specifically. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, please consider subscribing, and you guys will get notified when those videos go up. Anyway, back to what I wanted to talk about. Total numbers for all of my online sales for January 2023. Total gross sales, $3,769.84. I sold a total of 116 items. I think I had like 2 Mercari sales, but neither one was even close to being $40 or more, so they didn't hit this video. My average sales price was $32.49. I love that for me. I love to be $25 and over because I do sell a lot of bread and butter things that don't make it into these videos. My total cost of goods for all 116 items that I sold was $643.93, making my average cost of goods $5.55. I like that number with the symmetry, but it is a little bit high for me, but you know, that's fine. I turned it into almost $4,000, so I can't really complain. And my total profit for online sales is $2,529.44. So I took $643, turned it into almost $3,800 in gross sales, and I had $2,500 in profit, and I am happy with that because that is like a trip. That's a nice trip for me and my daughter even, because I travel on the cheap and I travel in off season for a reason. I didn't mean to rhyme, but anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you were surprised by any of these sales. Let me know how your January sales were. I love to hear about that stuff. Look forward to February coming out probably within like the next week to 10 days. And yeah, if you liked it at any point, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube to know what type of content you enjoy seeing from me. And as always, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you here and my weird little family on the internet, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.